Jung Jing. No one knew how Mr. Sticky got in the fish tank. He's very small, Mom said as she peeled at the tiny water snail. Just a black dot. He will go, said Abby, and pull her pajama button up and again before she got into the bed. Those buttons always falling down. In the morning, Abby jumped out the bed and switched on the light in her fish tank. Jerry, the fat orange goldfish, was dozing inside the stone archway. Giles was already awake, swimming around the front of the tank with his white tail floating and switching. It took Abby a while to find Mr. Sticky because he was clinging to the grass near the bottom, right next to the gravel. At school that day, she wrote about the mysterious Mr. Sticky who was so small. You could mistake him for a piece of gravel. Some of the girls in her class said, he seems an ideal pet for her, and they kept giggling about it. That night, Abby turned on the light to find Mr. Sticky clinging to the very tiniest, weaviest tip of the pond weed. It was near the water filter, so he was bobbing about in the air bubbles. That looks fun, Abby said. She tried to imagine what it must be like to have the hand on the things all day and decided it was probably very tiring. She fed the fish, then lay on her bed and watched them chase each other round and round in the archway. When they stopped, Gary began nibbling at the pond weed with his big, pouty lips. He sucked Mr. Sticky into his mouth, then brought him back out again in the stream of water. The snail floated down to the bottom of the tank among the colored gravel. I think he's grown a bit, Abby told her mom at the breakfast the next day. Just as well if he's going to be gobbling up like that, her mom said. Try to put on her coat and eat toast at the same time. But I don't want him to get too big or he won't be cute anymore. Small things are cute, aren't they? Yes, they are, but big things can be cute too. Now, hurry up. I'm going to miss my train. At the school that day, Abby drew an elephant. She needed 2 pieces of expensive paper to do both ends, but the teacher didn't mind because she was pleased with the drawing and wanted it on the wall. They sellotaped them together right across the elephant's middle. In the corner of the picture, Abby wrote her full name, Abigail, and drew a tiny snail for the dot on the eye. The teacher said, that was very cute, very creative. At the weekend, they clean out the tank. There's a lot of algae on the side, Mom said. I'm not sure Mr. Sticky quite up to the job yet. They scooped the fish out, put them in the bowl where while they emptied some of the water. Mr. Sticky stayed out of the way, clinging to the glass, while Mom used special vacuum cleaner to clean the gravel. Abby trimmed a new pieces of pound wheat down to size and swapped the archway and the filter tube. Mom poured new water into the tank. "Where's Mr. Sticky?" Abby asked. "On the side," Mom said. She was busy concentrating on the water. "Don't worry, I was careful." Abby looked on all sides of the tank. There was no sign of the water snail. "Oh, he's probably in the gravel then," her mom said. "Come on, let's get this finished. I have got work to do." She plopped the fish back in the clean water, where they swam round and round, looking puzzled. That evening, Abby went up to the bedroom to check the tank. The water had settled and looked lovely and clean, but there was no sign of Mr. Sticky. She lay on her bed and did some exercises. She stretched out her legs, feet, and pointed her toes. Stretching was good for your muscles and made you look tall, a model had said on TV. And she looked enormous. When Abby had finished, she kneeled down to have another look in the tank, but there was still no sign of Mr. Sticky. She went downstairs. Her mother was in the study, surrounded by papers. She had her glasses on, and her hair was all over the place, where she'd been running her hand through it. She looked impatient when she saw Abby in the doorway, and even more impatient when she heard the bad news. "Oh, he will turn up," was all she said. "Now, off to bed, Abby. I've got masses of work to catch up on." Abby felt her face got hot and red. It always happened when her mother was angry or upset. Oh, when she was angry or upset. "You have hoovered him up, haven't you?" she said. "You were in such a rush. You hoovered him up." "I have not. I was very careful. But he's extremely small." "What's wrong with being small?" Abby asked. "Nothing at all, but it makes things hard to find or notice," Abby said, and ran round the room. The door to the bedroom opened, and Mom's face appeared. Around the crack, Abby tried to ignore her, but it was hard when she walked over to the bed and sat next to her. She was holding her glasses in her hand. She waved them at Abby. "There are my new pair," she said, "extra powerful for snail hunting." She smiled at Abby. Abby tried not to smile back. "And I have got a magnifying glass." Abby suddenly remembered and rushed off to find it. They sat beside each other on the floor. On their knees, they shuffled around the tank, peering into the corners around the big pebbles and the gravel and the pound wheat. "Aha!" Mom suddenly cried. What? Abby moved her magnifying glass to where her mouth was pointing. There, tucked in the curve of archway, perfectly hidden against the dark stone, sat Mr. Sticky, and right next to him was another water snail, even smaller than him. Mrs. Sticky, Abby breathed. But where did she come from? I'm beginning to suspect the pound weed, don't you think? They both laughed and climbed into Abby's bed together. Cuddling down under the doormat, it was cozy but a bit of squeezy. Budge up, Mom said, giving Abby a push with her button. I can't, I'm already on the edge. My goodness, you have grown then. When did that happen? You could have put an elephant in here last time we did this. Abby put her head on her mom's chest and smiled.